Welcome to another connection here on TKO8 Television. Dennis King, Tabitha Odegaard. Thanks for joining us again this week. We appreciate you each week letting us talk to you about different things going on. We learn a lot of things every show just about.
Yes,
and
I know I
some
do.
different things we're going to talk about today. How's everything going out your way at the fitness club?
The fitness club is busy. You would think
even
that
in the summer?
Yeah, you would think in the summertime, people would want to work out outside, but maybe possibly because it's so hot these days, they want to come inside. But I thought with vacation, kids out of school, but we're crazy busy.
Really busy.
Yeah, it's wonderful out there.
Classes, I know you
Classes
still do spin classes and personal training and toning classes and all that
busy.
exercise and stuff. So.
You're golfing, I'm sure.
Trying to golf a little bit, and I like to go to the gym too. Actually, the fitness club, which is right next to Nature's Wonders, great spot for it right there.
Yeah, it is.
But that parking lot is, every time I go, I have to park way out on the street side there because it's so full.
That just proves to you that we're busy.
It is busy.
It's crazy in there, but yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment and talk to two ladies about something that's just around the corner. School's going to be starting on Connect.
Enroll now for fall classes at North Arkansas College. Register from May 15th to August 19th or during extended registration for classes that have not yet begun on August 19th to 22nd. Check out new class offerings like hospitality management and transportation logistics. North Ark also offers a wide selection of online courses to take from the comfort of your own home. You can avoid the line and make an appointment to receive one-on-one advising to help you design an individualized educational plan. Appointments can be made by visiting northark.edu, one of the many ways North Ark is your college, your way. Classes start August 19th, so schedule your appointment today.
It's summertime, 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 summertime.
Summer's even more fun thanks to Harrison Parks and Recreation. There are tons of fun activities available for your children, both indoor and outdoor, all summer long. Arts and crafts, field trips, special guests, and of course, swimming. Call to learn more at 870-741-2346. Pool and facility rentals available. Harrison Parks and Recreation. There's always something going on.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television. Our guest is Terry Beard and Wanda Spencer. Terry, I know you've been in before. Wanda, glad to have you come and support Terry here today. And we're going to make her talk a lot, Terry.
I think we should make her talk a lot. I was threatened when we got here.
She said, "Why are you putting that mic on me for?" She said, "I'm not going to talk." I said, "Well, we're going to put it on there anyway." So
You
trying to
just
encourage
sit and
her.
be pretty.
she just sat there and looked nice.
Look nice, absolutely.
Well, what are we talking about?
We're talking about Head Start, and for those of people that don't know, what is Head Start?
Well, it's a preschool program for children ages 3 to 5. We're state accredited, quality approved, trying to get those kiddos ready for school, so get all the skills that they need to kind of build them up, get them ready, so when they transition into kindergarten, they're ready to go.
So really, the Head Start program, you're actually getting a very similar because the teachers are accredited. It's just really like going to school early.
It really is.
I mean, really for the little kids.
It really is. Used to, kindergarten requirements were a lot less than what they are now. A lot of times what we expect our children when they hit kindergarten, it's really first or almost second grade requirements. So we're trying to get them that jump so they are ready to go when they hit kindergarten.
Sure, I mean, they probably need to learn some, and then they just need to get familiar with being with their own kids and having to deal with other adults and structure,
A lot of the socialization, how to transition, that relationship building that these 3 to 5-year-olds need to learn that early on going into kindergarten.
Absolutely. I'm sure it's scary for some of them because I remember my first experience in kindergarten. I cried. I was the girl that cried like a baby because I was attached to Mama's hip. So it can be very scary. So
we have some of that as well.
Yeah, I bet you did. I
but
bet you did.
yeah, you get that out of the way early, and then they're ready for kindergarten.
Yep.
Yeah,
So.
that really is. That's great. how many? I mean, you've got locations. What is this district, or what is your area?
Our service
for-
area.
Uh-huh.
We're actually in 6 counties. We're in Baxter, Boone, Marion, Newton, Searcy, and Van Buren County.
Okay.
We're actually funded for 471 children in those 6 county areas. So
471. And so, do you pretty well max that number?
we actually, because we're federally funded, we have to. That's part of the thing. It's tied to our funding.
Okay.
You've got to maintain that enrollment.
Okay.
So we're required to. Don't have
Okay.
many choices.
But do you have to turn people away?
Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of times when we do begin to fill up, we always encourage parents, even though we're full,
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and do that application, get put on that wait list, because we never know when a family's going to move out of the area or
Right.
drop, whatever.
Sure.
That way we've got their application, we can put them into that spot just as quick as that vacancy's open.
Do you have any spots open this year?
Right now, we've got quite a few spots in all 6 of our counties,
Really?
so we're really trying to
Right.
encourage parents. Been advertising out in the community and some of the community events, newspapers, things like that,
Right.
trying to make sure parents realize. A lot of times they don't realize it's time to get ready for school. We're so busy in the summer routine, doing fun things. When we go to Walmart, we see all that back to school stuff. It clicks.
Oh,
We
yeah.
better get ready. So
Right.
we're trying to get out there and let those parents know we're ready to go.
So you really mirror the school program?
Yes,
Is that what
yes.
you
We
start
pretty
time?
much run the same in each of the counties that we're in, especially when we're on a school campus. We try to pretty much match that school calendar pretty close, right down to the very last.
Do you have classrooms? I know you mentioned the age group, but I forgot. Are they all together, or is there actually individual classes for different age groups?
We actually do blended classrooms for
Blended.
children ages 3 to 5. Then we do individualization, because you're going to have some children that are at that 3-year-old level. You're going to have some that are at the 5-year-old level. So trying to individualize and provide activities and learning different things that they can learn to advance them at whatever age and ability they're at.
And what's the age group? Again,
3 to 5.
3 to
3 to 5. Okay.
3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5.
3,
We
4.
do try to encourage parents that have those 2.5-year-olds, go ahead and do those applications, because we put them on a wait list. So that way, as soon as they do turn 3, it may be mid-year, January, they turn 3. We want to go ahead and encourage them, so that way if we have an opening, we can get them started.
Okay, so they can come in the program anytime.
Exactly.
Ah,
Exactly.
that's
And
nice.
we do try to, again, trying to get those younger ones in, because once they qualify for the program, they don't have to re-qualify the next year. Once they're in the first year, they're automatically in the next year.
Okay.
So a lot of those early threes, what we call them, that come in mid-year like that, actually may qualify for 2.5 years worth of services.
Nice.
That's good.
Nice.
That is-
How many teachers do you have on staff down
We
there?
have 26 teachers. So
Really?
We've got 26 classrooms, 26 teachers, 26 assistants.
Where is this located at?
Well, here in Harrison, we're on the corner of Highway 7 and Prospect. Right there where you turn to go to Bergman. We're right
Yeah.
in that
Okay,
long brick
okay.
building right
Yeah,
there.
Okay.
We've got 5 classrooms here in Harrison.
Wow. Wow. So most of the time, I would assume, are most of your facilities on the campuses at the schools, or not always?
Not always, not
Okay.
always. Kind of depends. In some locations, like here in Harrison, Marshall, and Clinton, we actually have our own buildings.
Okay.
A lot of the other ones, we might be in a modular unit or in a classroom on the school
I
campus.
got you. So it varies
depending on where you're at.
depending on the- okay.
So, I guess, little kiddos going to kindergarten, they always put out those lists, for school supplies, notebooks and paper, whatever. I have none. But, so, do they need to have supplies when they go to Head Start?
No, that's one of the nice things about Head Start. Everything is
Oh.
furnished for them.
Oh,
They don't
wow.
have to do anything. Now, we always encourage parents, because a lot of times they might have older siblings that are getting the schools, their backpacks, everything else, and the little ones want them. We try to encourage or discourage the parents for the child to bring that, just because, kind of like with the school system, it would have to be a clear backpack, or we'd have to search through it, make sure there's no weapons, anything of
Okay.
that nature.
Right.
But we always tell the parents, if Johnny wants it and he's coming just because sister got one, let him carry it when he walks in the door. Just say, hey, mom's going to take this home, so you've got it for tomorrow. About 3 days of it, they forgot about it. They're ready to go to school.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're a big boy now, or
Yeah,
they're a big
that's
girl.
right. Yeah, they've already forgotten
Big
and they're
sister's
ready to
doing
go.
it. I want to do it too. Sure.
So is there any cost to the people? I mean, as far as the Head Start program, what as a parent, what's it cost?
Well, actually, I'm glad you asked that. With Head Start, it's kind of like getting private school tuition for free. There is a cost. It costs the federal program, the federal government, about $5,000 per child per year. So it's a huge expense that parents wouldn't be able to afford. A lot of parents wouldn't be able to afford. I wouldn't be able to
No,
afford
Wow.
it.
no, right.
But because we're federally funded, the federal government pays for that portion. It's free for the parents.
So we're paying for it.
We're paying
Our tax
for it. Our
money's
tax
paying-
money's paying for it.
But it doesn't cost
But it
us-
doesn't cost our parents anything.
Wow, that is a nice.
And I wanted that because a lot of times parents think, oh, it's free. That doesn't mean it's good. It doesn't mean it's quality. No, it's really not
No,
free.
I've heard a lot of great stuff
Yeah,
about
it-
you
it's
guys.
not really free. It's costing, like I said, it's our tax-paying money is what's paying
What's
for
paying
it.
for it.
There's a pretty good cost associated with it, but it's just free to our parents. So
Wow.
get
That's-
that quality
is a-
education at no
and
cost.
and it doesn't matter what your financial status is at home. I mean, everybody, it's the same for everybody.
It's the same. We do have income guideline qualifications, but we're able to, because of our regulations, that we can serve families from all income levels.
Wow. Very, very good. Gosh.
If I was a parent, how would I get involved, or can I get involved in the
Oh,
classroom
we
and helping
en-
you out in volunteer work? Or
We
anything?
encourage our parents to be involved through. One of the things we have regulations on is that we have a policy council that's probably part of our program governance. It kind of regulates how our program is run, changes year to year. So we encourage parents to participate through policy council. Volunteering in the classroom, there's a lot of opportunities. We have parent meetings, we have men and dads activities that can get involved, a lot of different things of that nature as well.
Kind of like your own PTA.
Very,
That's,
yes.
just like
That's
in
pretty
school.
much what it is. It's
Yeah.
just not called PTA.
Yeah, right.
And then we kind of encourage parents that once they've got that involvement down, to kind of transition into the school, that
Oh,
part of the
sure.
school readiness part is continue that involvement, get involved in the PTA and continue that, because then parents become the best advocates for their child
Sure.
as they go on through school.
Absolutely.
Now, you know
absolutely.
what we've got to do, don't you?
I
We've
don't
got to
know.
ask Wanda something.
Oh,
Wanda hasn't said a word yet. Okay. So you think you ought to come up with a tough question for Wanda?
all right. I
No.
got one.
Okay.
Okay. So if I'm gonna want more information on this,
What
who
we
do
gonna-
I call?
You can call me.
Oh,
You can call Ozark Opportunities.
all right.
Yeah,
very good.
I don't know if we even mentioned that to start with. It is
Yeah.
a part of Ozark Opportunities
Right.
Incorporated
Yes.
and in one of the programs. And people hear of Head Start, but not a lot of people don't know that it's under the
The
Ozark Opportunities
umbrella.
of things.
Yeah, I didn't.
But everybody has heard of Head Start, I mean, through the years, and particularly if you've ever had a child, and it's been around for a long time.
Long time,
But-
since the 60s.
Yes, but it's something that's, again, under the umbrella of a bigger thing.
Agency.
You know, agency.
Is there a qualification, or not a qualification? That's the wrong word for it. But how many are in a classroom? How many can you have?
We can go up to 20. We have 2 staff people, and we can go up to 20. It kind of varies depending on some of the rural areas.
Right.
And again, we can't go over 471.
Okay.
So we kind of have to spread the kids out. So in some of our rural areas, depending on what the populations are, we may have a classroom of 13 to 15. In some areas, like here in Harrison, Mountain Home, a lot of times just because of gross population, I mean, you've got more children.
Right.
So a lot of times those classrooms
Just
are a
like
little more full.
schools,
Just
the
like
same,
schools.
same way the small
Exactly.
schools don't have as
Right,
many
as many
kids in
children.
their classes and
Right.
so forth. And so that's that's the excuse me, that's the number that you have to stay under. You've got a max number.
Yep, we've got a max
Just
number.
like in the public schools.
Just like in the
they-
public
same-
school,
same
right.
type of thing.
I remember growing up, my favorite subject was recess. Do they get to play outside? Is there a jungle gym and all that?
We've got all kind of neat things on some
Cool.
of our playgrounds. We even have some little helicopters. So if you're ever out by a Head Start program, swing through there and take a look. We've got some really cute little helicopters that the kids can play on. They get at least an hour of outdoor learning play a day.
Yeah, that's great.
Sometimes in the hotter part of the year as school starts, a lot of times they may only go out for 20 minutes and then maybe or 30 minutes and then
Right.
go back out later, at different portions of the day. But they get an hour of outdoor learning every day.
And you guys provide snacks or lunches for them, or do they
Breakfast,
bring
lunch.
their lunch?
Breakfast, lunch, and snacks.
Wow, that's
Wonderful.
good.
So
they
and
got the whole deal.
They've got the whole deal, everything.
Very
Sounds
good.
like a great program.
Well, they've answered all of our questions. We did get Wanda to
Yes,
talk
we
to us a
did.
little bit, and we appreciate that. Terry Beard and Wanda Spencer, thank you both for coming in
Thanks
and,
for
and
inviting
talking
us.
about
Thank
Head
you.
Start. It's such an important program, such a great program to have. Again, there's no cost to it. I mean, it's still tax money, but there's no cost to the families to utilize it. And I can't imagine anybody not wanting to utilize it because it's a great start. For
I've
that-
only heard
for
good
that
things
chi-
about
yeah,
it, for sure.
For that child to get kind of jump started before they get into
Like a
public
Head
school.
Start?
Like a Head Start.
You mean like a Head Start? Yeah.
Thank you both for being with us.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it, and good luck with another year of Head Start
Thank
in this
you.
area.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. We're going to talk with Police Chief Pat Murphy about a whole new program that's going on in the city of Harrison. We'll be back on Connection.
Start spinning, twisting, and pumping into a healthy lifestyle 24 hours a day at the Fitness Club. With all of the best equipment and personal trainers, you're ensured a workout that's fun, effective, and motivating. At the Fitness Club, you can enhance your glow, relax your mind, and refresh your body all in one convenient location. So what are you waiting for? Start spinning, twisting, and pumping your way into a new you today. Enhance your lifestyle and reach your goals at the Fitness Club, Highway 6265 North in Harrison.
Back on Connection here on TKO8 Television, Dennis King and Tabitha Odegaard for the second half of our show today. We have Pat Murphy, who is the Chief of Police for the City of Harrison. Pat, thank you.
Good morning,
for
y'all.
being-
Thank you for having me.
Well, we
Good
appreciate
morning.
it. And we've got something we're going to, this is brand new.
It is brand new.
And a lot of
It's-
people
yeah.
don't know about this, is why I wanted the Chief to come in. It's been publicized a little bit, but it's important
But
for
it's very
anyone,
important that
anyone
people know
lives around
because-
this area.
Sure.
Because even if they don't live in the City of Harrison, if they're juveniles and they happen to be coming into the City of Harrison, they need to know about this.
It could be,
That's
yeah,
exactly right.
uh,
Let's talk about
yeah.
why did the City Council come up with this?
Well,
idea?
actually, what we're talking about is our minor curfew.
Right.
Yes.
For
It,
juveniles.
it's something that we've discussed in the city for probably about 4 years.
Have you?
Probably about 3 years ago, we ran a survey in the Daily Times to see how the people thought about it. And I think we had about an 84% approval rate that they wanted to go ahead and do it. But this year, it kind of culminated with we had some more vandalism at our parks, at our ball fields, and that kind of stuff. But we also had a string of burglaries that happened up in around Maple Street in that area there. And one of the ladies that was up there complaining about it was also complaining about the amount of juveniles that were running around the neighborhood. And I'm not talking about at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, like at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
So I decided to bring this to the council again, and this time it was successful and we got it passed.
yeah, at 2 in the morning, I don't want to hear any noise. I mean,
Well,
I don't know
and-
what
and
they'd be
there's
doing.
nothing good gonna
There's
happen.
nothing good happening after midnight, right?
Yeah, really. I mean, for kids under 18, I mean, that's...
And especially for them, and they have school.
Well,
you
even
know,
if
do
they
they
don't,
not
even
go
if
to
it's-
school?
if they're out in the summer, I mean, that's just not a good situation. to
Sure,
have those.
sure.
But
No.
speaking of that, what is the age?
Well, basically the age is any kid that's under 18, so the 17-year-old and under are the
Okay.
ones that qualify or fall under the parameters of the new ordinance.
Ordinance.
And what it is telling them is that from Sunday night through Thursday night, from 11 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning, that's when the curfew hours are going to be in effect. And then on Friday and Saturday night, it's midnight, so they get to stay out an hour later on the weekend.
Okay.
And do whatever that they want to do. We have some exceptions to the law to help them all out, but that's when the hours are, and that's the age.
I think
for
it's
the kids.
great. I don't think it's unreasonable at all.
Well, and actually, Chief, I don't know before you came here if the city community had it, but it's not unusual. A lot of cities and a lot of towns
No.
of all sizes have curfews. I mean,
Yes. And we actually got this curfew. The one that we adopted was the one that Conway's had, but it's the same as what it is in Little Rock. And as you know, I came from Texas, and the
Right.
agency that I came from, we passed this ordinance probably back in the 1980s.
Wow.
But I mean, the verbiage is pretty much identical anywhere you go in the country and take a look at it.
Right.
So if you're out and about and it's 1 in the morning and some kids out there, what do?
We stop. It
happened?
gives us a chance to stop, talk to them, ask them why they're out, see if they meet any of the exceptions, and if they don't, we'll either call. Well, we always call the parents, and then we may send the kid home, or we may bring the kid to the police department and have the parents come there to pick them up. But one way or another, we make sure that they get home safely.
Okay.
Good.
So you could actually take them down to the police department and then call them, or
Yep.
if they can give you, the officer can call
Is there a
parent.
fine or?
There are some fines, and if you don't mind,
Okay.
I'll tell you what those are, but I'm going to have to look at them in the ordinance.
Okay.
The first offense is a $100 fine. Second offense is a $300 fine, and the third offense is up to $1,000. And of course, that's dependent on the judge. The judge is the one that sets the fines, and they'll go from there.
And municipal judgment.
Right. And what we've tried to do is, well, the first month we issued nothing but warnings, and I want our officers to be discreet about this and take a softer approach. And I think anybody that we first couple times we pick them up will probably be a warning anyway. So.
Right. Now, when did this actually officially take effect?
Well, the law was passed on May the 16th, so actually it was 30 days after that. So
Okay.
so on June 16th is when we started doing it.
Okay.
By the way, since then we picked up 19 kids.
Really?
Yeah, I checked the numbers this morning before I left the office, and we we've handled 19 kids.
Okay, how do you, they were talking about first offense and second offense. Do you actually book it
Yes.
down, book them in, or whatever you do?
Right. There's a report that we take that serves as the warning.
Okay.
But that gives us the documentation that we can check on our computer system to see if they've been picked up before.
Gotcha.
Sure.
Okay. So that it does
Right.
help you, so you'd know if same juvenile gets seen out there 2 or 3 or 4 different times,
Right.
then you obviously got a problem.
Right.
And can do it. Okay.
So since the 19 kids have been, and since it's been picked up, and this has been happening, is there less crime going on? Is there?
Well, those numbers I don't have right now because we've only been doing it for about a
Right.
month. But
Right.
most of the cities that do this, and I know in the city that I came from, our vandalism and a lot of our burglary of vehicles, both of those crimes went down once we passed the ordinance.
I see.
Sure.
I see. Well, and you know, I'm sure you've had this situation occur numerous times, and I'm on the Parks Commission, so we've had probably as much vandalism in our parks as any other part of town.
Oh, yeah.
I think you'd
Oh,
agree
yeah.
with that because we got so many different places to go. But the juveniles seem to hang out in groups sometimes, and I guess if you tell them to leave this place, they kind of go
Mm-hmm. That's
over to
exactly
this other
right.
place, you know.
I mean, we kind of move them. You know, one of the things that came from where I came from, when we moved kids, we moved them to another town. but here in Harrison, when
nowhere
you're
to-
kids, they go from the park to Walmart.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I
they-
mean, it's the same problem that goes on all over town.
Really? Yeah,
Right.
it is. Okay, so let's say my child gets picked up, and maybe it's the second time or the third. What liability does, as a parent, what's my liability?
Well, actually, the parents can be in violation too. If you're allowing your kids to be out past the curfew hours, and you know we've warned you before, then you can be cited right along with the kid, and then that goes to the bigger court.
Right.
And the same fines apply there for those people, so the parents can be fined for this also.
Of the juveniles that you've picked up already, I'm just curious, how have the parents or guardians, how have they taken this? I mean, are they
Good question.
are they glad
Yeah.
that you're doing this?
Some of them are. Oddly enough, some of the kids that we picked up, mom and dad didn't know they were out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think that was probably more of a headache than us talking to them.
They had bigger problems than you. I think if I would like that, if my mom and dad had found out that I was out at 2 a.m. and wasn't supposed to be, it would have been better for me to let the police department do that, because I'd have had a whole lot worse punishment at home
That's exactly
than
right.
what Chief Murphy and their
Right.
officers would have done. So, well, that's
Yeah.
good. So, I mean, I would think that any responsible parent or guardian would feel good about the fact that if the kids were not supposed to be out there, that they get that phone call and that, you know,
Yes.
they can obviously stop it from happening again, or at least
Right.
try to stop it from
You
happening.
know, one of the
Anyways.
things, though, that I think does help, we've had some parents call that say, well, you know, their friends, parents, say that they can stay out at all hours, and it makes it tough for them. But this gives them a little bit more, the parents a little bit more to say, well, the law says now that you have to be in at these certain times, and it does give the parents a little bit of help on doing some of that.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, because I mean, being a parent's hard. I mean, not that I've got any kids, but to lay down the law in that cute little face or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Right.
So you guys putting the curfew out
Right.
there is just, it helps the parents along.
Yep.
And
It's a law.
actually, Chief, I know in our involvement with the court show that we do, which is in the big court, circuit court, every Friday. You know, we have our community has the same issues, only on a smaller scale as the metropolitan areas, and
That's exactly
you know,
right.
drugs are prevalent, and you know, the break-ins and whatever. I would think if with this curfew, if we could even curtail a little bit of some of these young people getting off on the wrong track by putting a little teeth into the program early, could keep them from major violations as they've gone.
Right, and that's
down the
exactly
road.
right. It's a little
Yeah.
preventative medicine to begin with.
Yeah, it really is. And it, I guess, from the community standpoint, and one reason I wanted to have you in here today, I mean, I know the newspaper had an article in there about it, but are you putting any kind of, is there any kind of signage, or what's your expectations?
No, and of course you know the city limits of our town. I mean they're pretty cut up and they're kind of odd, so
Yeah.
it'd be kind of hard for us to put some of those signs out. I've seen them. In fact, I was in Conway not too long ago.
Do they
So-
have
in Conway? They're pretty old, and you can barely read them anymore. But there are some signs.
Okay.
I think by just getting the word out, and
Right.
some of the kids that because we're obviously going to warn them the first time, and
Sure.
we're going to try to correct it that way.
Sure.
With us calling the parents and stuff, it won't take too long before everybody knows that we've got the curfew in effect.
Yeah, when you live in a small town,
Yeah.
Somebody gets
word
a
gets
word
around.
gets
Actually,
around
the
for
word
sure.
probably gets around with the young people real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it does. Their grapevines a lot better than ours.
Absolutely.
Their communication is a whole lot
yeah.
better. Yeah.
That is very,
They're
very
either
true.
texting somebody saying,
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you better watch out. I got picked up the other night at 1 o'clock, and you get caught out, you're going to get taken.
That's exactly
You know,
right.
so-
What? 1 o'clock? No. When did that happen?
So anyway, that's while we got just two or three more minutes, Chief. Is there anything else that we might want to tell the public, or anything else going on that the public can maybe help?
Well, I tell you what, let's do. I mean, before we finish this, let's talk about what the exceptions are, so that the parents
Let's
know
do
what
that.
they
We
are.
got
that's
plenty
a
of
good
time. Let's do
And
it.
if you don't mind, I'll read them.
you bet.
The first one is anytime a minor that is accompanied by a parent or responsible adult authorized by the parent to be out, then that is an exception. So that's okay. So if you're taking some kids to a late movie and you're up at Branson
Right.
seeing a show, that
not-
covers it.
okay.
Any employee that's employed anywhere. So if they're working at McDonald's or
Right.
they're working at
Late night or
late
something,
night
sure.
job, they got a 45-minute window there to get back and forth to work.
Right.
And any time that a kid is out on an activity that's a civic deal, the school function
Sure.
or a church function, and it runs past the hours of the curfew, they're covered for that 45 minutes after the event.
Okay.
And any time that a parent sends a kid out on a legitimate errand,
Right.
they need to go to the store to pick something up, or for some reason, and I don't know why, in the middle of the night, but in case they do,
Right.
that covers it.
Okay.
And anytime they're traveling, they're covered. So if they're on a vacation and they're coming through town, that will cover all of that. And anytime they have to leave in an emergency.
Sure.
So those are the exceptions. So I mean, it's pretty broad.
Yes.
If the parents have given them permission to be out for one reason or another, that's a legitimate reason to be out during those hours, they're covered under that. So if they're going to a dance or project graduation or some of the things that we have going. In fact, we just had the 4th of July
Sure.
thing that happened, and the street dance lasted, I think it was over at midnight,
Right.
and that was one of the nights that it was an 11 o'clock curfew, so the kids that were there would be fine. So
Right. Okay.
it covers all of that kind
Right.
of stuff.
And obviously, I'm sure you and your staff and the city council, they're not looking to, put a burden on kids or families. It's a preventative thing to
Right.
keep maybe, probably 99% of all the kids, it's legit.
Right.
They either
Right.
didn't mean to do it, they're not doing anything wrong.
That's
But
exactly
there's
right.
that 1% or 2%
That's exactly
that if you
right.
can stop some other more serious things.
It gives us another little tool in
You
the
bet.
toolbox, too, for us to just stop and see what they're doing out in the
Yep.
middle of the night.
That really does. That's good. Anything else? Did we cover everything pretty well?
Well, I think we've covered the curfew thing
Okay.
pretty good.
Okay.
I do want to take a minute and
Okay, we
thank
got about a
some of
minute.
the
Okay.
some of the folks in town. Our special operations team, we operate that as much as we can off of donations
Okay.
and stuff like that. And this last summer, our team managed to get, I think it was around $6,000 or $8,000 that was donated by some of the businesses in town.
Okay.
I want to thank them for their
Very good.
donations.
Very good.
They went to Walmart and they collected money there. They're trying to go to a pretty extensive school that's going to be up in Kansas City.
Okay.
And they got some money from people that were coming in and shopping at the store. And I want to thank everybody that helped us out on that.
Very good. Very
And
good.
we really do appreciate it, and it helps us from using taxpayer money to run that team.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you coming in, Chief, and talking to us about this curfew program that's in effect. If you hadn't heard about it, you probably you need to know about it if you've got a child out there, and make sure, use good common sense. That's really all they're wanting you to do. Good common sense with your children, and make sure you know where your children are, as they always say. So, Chief, thank you so much.
Well,
we
thank you for
appreciate it.
having
me.
Anytime we can help get information out, well, we'll be happy to do it, and we've always appreciate all the civic things that the police department does above and beyond. So,
Well,
and
thank
we
you. Thank you
appreciate it
very
very much. Thanks for joining us on Connection here today on TKO8 Television. For Tabitha Odegaard, I'm Dennis King. We hope you got some information that you maybe didn't know anything about here today on the show, and we do a show every week. So join us a couple of times a day. You can go to our website and click on Connection and watch it anytime, and we'll see you again next week.